Welcome back to Bible/Chat. We're having I think a fairly deep conversation, but we're just doing it in little pieces.
Yeah.
You did a great job last time, by the way. It's stressful. We're asking you these incredibly difficult questions, and you got 3 to 4 minutes to answer them, but you just whipped that one out so well.
We do our best.
Yeah, excellent job. So we came to the conclusion last time that the whole idea of every tribe, tongue, and nation, and then babies have never done any deeds. And so according to Revelation 20 and Revelation 5, you put those two texts together, and it seems that infants who've done no deeds are going to be saved. That they'll go to heaven, and that the blood of Jesus covers them, covers their sin nature that they inherited from their forefathers.
Yeah, fascinatingly enough. So then that kicks off into another question, right? Now, like, what? Okay, so that child. Oh, we get it. Maybe 1, 2.
Yeah.
Where's that line?
Yeah.
When's the age of accountability? That's the age-old question, right? How do we answer that? Because that goes into all questions like baptism and when to share the gospel with kids, all sorts of questions like that. So
Absolutely.
How would we answer that?
Yeah, that's a very complex question, and it takes a little bit of explaining. But maybe the better way to do it is just start with that idea of accountability.
Go ahead.
Accountability is a real thing, right? There's an accountability before God.
Yep.
Man is judged according to their deeds. We just learned from Revelation 20, the text that you pointed out.
Yep.
And so every human being that has done deeds, whether thoughts or words or actions, those that are a violation of God's law, every one of those will be judged.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
So then the question is it an age where deeds start to happen?
Yeah.
And we know, even from little, small babies, they do things, right?
Of course.
They often don't know. Right. And so the question is there a place, is there an age where they know, where we can say at 13 they know, or at 7 they know, or at 5 they know? I think a better way to think about it is condition of accountability as opposed to an age.
Yeah.
So we don't put a specific age on it. We say there's a condition at which the child understands the reality of God.
Okay.
And once that condition has been met, they understand the reality of God.
Right.
And His righteousness, His power and divine glory, which is exactly what you brought up in Romans chapter 1. In verse 20. He says, "For since the creation of the world, His invisible attributes, His eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen." So it's very clear, if you just look at a creation,
to everybody,
that God is eternal, He's eternally powerful, right? And He is divine. In other words, there's something ontologically higher than me. I have to understand that. And I think everybody knows that in their heart. They know that the fact that they exist with a will and a personality and all those things must mean that something else is higher than them.
That's exactly what Paul says. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody gets it. And then they also know that there's an internal power source from which everything comes. And things don't just show up. You don't just have trees that show up out of nowhere.
No.
And so you have eternal power, divine nature that should be very clearly evidently seen.
Right.
And he says they are understood through what has been made. So the mind grasps those two realities.
Yeah.
So the condition of accountability is, very simply, the ability to grasp that a God exists and that He's eternally powerful.
So you got to get that verse, the
you
realities
get
of that verse.
Exactly. And before that, they have an excuse. They can't understand that God exists, which then would move us through that whole thought process that you took already through Revelation 20 and back to Revelation 5.
Yeah.
So what we would say is that it's a condition of accountability.
Right.
That condition of accountability is met or not met based on that individual.
Right.
So one child might meet that condition of accountability at age 8, and another at age 10, maybe age 5. It's different for every kid depending on their ability to comprehend things. And there's this one sort of subset of people, someone who's maybe born.
I was just going to ask,
someone who's maybe born with not complete cognitive faculties, right?
Some sort of disability.
Disability where maybe they're mentally 2 years old and they spend their entire life mentally at that age. What's going to happen to that person?
Right.
They may even do deeds, and even do deeds without awareness.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to that person's soul? They're a soul. They're broken because of the sin that's in the world, but they're a soul.
Right.
So what will happen to that person? And the Bible, I think, very clearly says they don't meet the standard of accountability. And so they die at 50 or 60 or 70.
But because mentally.
They don't ever meet that standard of mental accountability. They cannot understand.
Yeah. And
because they cannot understand, God graciously covers their sin nature with the blood of Christ.
Yeah. I mean, it just highlights the grace of God and His mercy, to put that. So the Bible's so wise in how it crafts all of that. It's amazing, actually. Yeah, well.
Very helpful.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. Very, very helpful.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.